What legacy do I want to leave? And what can I take with me and nothing else matters? Hello, 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 everybody. So, what I'm going to talk about a little bit is sort of some things that have been really strong in my intuition, and not only in my intuition, but divine is sure really hitting hard on this topic. And as you see as the thumbnail, it really is about a spiritual battle that we're going through. This is not just a battle, this is a war. It's been a war for a long time. However, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So for those of you that are brand new, welcome. My name is Patti. You might see me on Divine Warrior Intuitive. Everything I do is divine driven, divine guided into helping people also to understand their journey, but also to help in their journey on where their purpose and their calling is. So hopefully this will be helpful. But because we're in a situation in this war that we just don't really even realize, and it's going to get worse. So let me talk to you a little bit about what I mean by a spiritual warfare. So we have two ways of living. We have ways of living in the world and the mindset of what the world is, and a lot of people do live there. And then we have the mindset of the spiritual way of living. So believing in a higher power, the universe, God, or whatever it is, but there is a divine direction towards what way we should be going. And a lot of that has to do with absolute truth, love, compassion, things that we cannot touch, second dimensional thing we can't touch, right? So we're in either that world or we're in the world of our head, which is materialism, things that the world offers, politics, things that we can see and touch, first dimensional, we can see and touch, right? And sometimes, and I'm going to use these terms because it's just easier. So we have people who believe in God and then people who don't. People believe in a spiritual realm, people that don't. Okay. And that really has been a war for a long thousands and thousands, probably millions of years. This is the thing though, guys. It's going to get worse because it is something that is getting, you know how a volcano can just start to build up and build up and build up and build up, and then it blows, sort of like a pimple on your face. But the thing is that it blows. So this pressure and pressure and pressure can build up so long and then it blows. So we've got spiritual people fighting the world people and the world people fighting the spiritual people. And the thing is with that, we have to look at ourselves internally. So we have to decide where we are. Some people are on the fence. It's like, well, I sort of believe that something's out there and I believe that something's guiding us, but then, you know what? Science says this, And here's why I bring this up, because Divine has been heavy on my heart with this for a long time. And I'm like, where do you want me to go with this? What do you want me to do with this? I have no idea what you want me to do. I know there's spiritual warfare, and a lot of people know there's spiritual warfare. However, what do you want me to do with this stuff? Until last night. So I was sitting on social media, on my business social media, and some people, of course, are talking about the vaccine, which is part of that pimple that's growing inside. And the thing is that just being nice and saying a comment, that just turned a spiral from being a nice comment, and then people just coming at me, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, really? Seriously? This is the way that people are today? Yes, they are. Hate to say it, but the thing is, if you look at the thumbnail, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of materialism, there's a lot of greed, there's a lot of people fighting over politics and the separation, the liberals versus the Republicans versus the Democrats, and and then you've got cultural differences and fighting over cultural differences and racism and all this stuff that is going on the dark side, the shadow side of things that are happening. And then on the other side, you've got people that are full of love and compassion and empathy and all this kind of stuff. Okay. So there's two kinds of people. And it just depends on you yourself on how you want to be. But you got to know that over time, you have to realize that divine, which is God, universe, whatever you want to call it, I called it God, is that we've got two powers against each other. And the light will always shine over the dark. Just remember that. That's what you keep in your back of your mind. But the thing is, we have to learn as people, if you are one of the lighter people, which I hope I am, is that we learn to discipline and control ourselves so that we don't get caught up in the dark shadow side. Oh, that was an old show, Dark Shadow. I'm aging myself, sorry. But the dark, the yin and the yang, okay, that kind of a thing. There's always a positive and a negative. There's always a light and a dark. We're both, as we know, because we can see how people are acting sometimes, or how we can act, because we both have it inside of us, right? The thing is that I learned a lot about the book smarts of it, but I had the relationship already with divine since a little girl. So we've been talking since I was little. But the thing is that we have to realize that as this world begins to start going down more and more, and if you look at the astrologers and you look at the timeline from way back in history, we go through 50-year cycles. Okay, we go through 50-year cycles, and something big happens approximately every 50 years. And so what's happening now is a transition. I don't know what it is. I just know that God's saying to me, something's coming big. I don't know what it is. Last time it was COVID. I didn't know that COVID was coming until somebody had said the word COVID. And then I could see a whole movie of how it was coming to the United States and what it was going to do and all that kind of stuff. Same with this right now. There's a transition, but this is a spiritual war transition. This is where people are going to have to decide which side they want to be on, and there is going to be a fight, and people are going to lose friends. And I'm not talking about like shooting, bang, bang kind of thing. Unfortunately, people are. We're seeing that in our streets right now. However, what we need to decide for us internally is which side of the fence we're going to go on. We have to get off the fence. We cannot be on both sides. We have to pick a side that we're going to be on. Then we have to trust and believe in that side. And the thing is, for me, I'm going on divine side. I'm going on the spiritual side, and I will trust and have faith in that 100%, because when it comes time to put on our armor to do these fights, and these are not going to be well, they could be physical fights, but these are going to be verbal fights that you are going to have. These are verbal energies. These are nasty things that people say and do, and you got to have your armor on to protect you. You've got put, as an empath, we put bubbles around ourselves to keep off the energies of other people. So the thing is that when we get into this social media, the problem is we listen to too much of the social media. We listen to too much news. We listen to too much of politics. We listen to too much of everything that is going on to draw us into the darker side. That's a darker side. You know why? Because it's the world. It's the way that they want you to view the world. Same as the vaccines that's dividing people. The vaccine, you begin to talk about vaccines, you might as well say, you know what, it's like politics. I don't talk about it. I don't. Because it is a hot topic like politics or religion. I stay away from it because it will try to draw me to the dark side. I will not do it. So people say, oh, well, then you're not vaccinated. Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. Oh, they're trying to draw me to say things that I don't want to say, and I don't want to hurt anybody or offend anybody to their side. So if I were to go there, then I've just lost that little battle. So a war is full of different little battles. We go through these every single day, sometimes every minute, sometimes every hour, sometimes every whatever. But we go through them every day. So it is a choice and a decision in how we're going to allow our spirits to grow and allow us to actually fight this battle. Because I'm going to guarantee it, whoever's watching this, you're going to come into a battle today, and you will come into a battle tomorrow. And it's not about being the winner of it. It's being about showing a shining spirit about it. Because I will tell you, over time, as I used to be one of those people back there when I was on the darker side and I was lying and manipulating and doing all this dark stuff. When I began to transform and change myself over to light, people could see the difference. People began to watch what I was doing. People began to listen to what I was saying. People began to just act on some of the stuff that I would say, and it blew my mind. But because it was the transformation. So the thing is, in this war, which we will have now more and more and more, at work, at home, in your families. The stress is going to get to people. In the pandemic, the stress got to people, but it's going to get even worse because our world is changing quickly, too quickly. And divine sees that and is just becoming more and more ugly, more anger, more bitterness, more me conscious rather than we or selfless. It's becoming more selfish. It's what I can do and what I can have and what I can bear and what I can grow and what I can da 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 da. Rather than how can we solve this? How can we make it happen? How can we help each other? How can we share with each other? How can we be a team together? I don't know a war out there in the world that didn't have an army, a team full of people to help together win that war. So the war that we play within ourselves, we are even in a spiritual war because we within ourselves can't even decide which side we want to be on. So how can we win this world war? How can we win whatever war that we're in spiritually? Have you ever thought about that? Which side are you on? Which side do you really think, well, some days I'm on the bad side and some days I'm no. Even on the bad side, you have the choice to actually shine. You don't have to talk. You could just smile, whatever. Sometimes you're just not in the mood, but then you don't talk. You don't say anything because if you say something, that is the dark, the shadow side coming out. So when we come in the future, when we come in these next days, these weeks and these months and this year, and we see things getting worse, or we see the news media, more shootings, more killings, more division because of the vaccines, more worldly things happening, these earth droughts, these fires. I'm telling you, God's talking and nobody's listening. These fires are going to grow more and more and more, and the droughts are going to get more and more. Destruction is going to get more and more. And the thing is, we got to come together, but people just don't understand that. So what I came onto this video for is to say your internal struggle, your internal spiritual battle is within you and divine. Okay. I don't know you from Adam. I don't know who you are who's watching. I do love you because that's who I am. I love people. And the thing is that we have to look at ourselves and say, how am I going to act and react when something comes my way that's ugly? Somebody's against me. Somebody's flipping me off. Somebody's road raging and calling me and cussing me, all kinds of stuff. How am I going to react? I do choose how I want to respond or not even respond. So these are things that something I hope this video helps somebody with as far as how to respond when something or someone happens that is just not in your liking or is against you, because there's going to be more and more and more against you, especially if you're spiritual. There's going to be more and more against you. And I won't go into different religions or anything, but I will just pick an example because God actually, shows us love and light and compassion and all those kind of things. And the thing is that when we are that, we are showing divine. Okay. And so when you turn around and somebody is, I've had enemies from a lot of you guys know I'm an entrepreneur. So in my horse business, I've had a lot of competitors hate me, literally hate me. And you know what I say to them? Thank you. And you're like, why would you respond that way? Because they are hating because they're out of fear, or they're following somebody else because they don't know what else to do. And when I say thank you, I'm saying thank you because you actually feel like I have something of value that you need to be afraid of. So you have to put me down. You have to try to damage my business. You have to try to do something destructive to actually show and shine yourself up. I feel sad for them. So I just say thank you. An enemy or somebody is against me. I'm like, okay, that's your choice. Because I must have something of value that they want. As Seals the man said, and I asked him if I could use it, and his grandma had told him that one day that a thief does not come into a home if there is nothing to rob. They only go into a home if there is something to rob. He said something of that nature. So the thing is that I must have something of value for somebody to get angry, for somebody to get bitter, for somebody to get fearful. And it is nothing that I have. It's just that they feel threatened because of their fear. Think about that for a while, because we only act in two different ways. We act in love and we make choices and decisions in love, or we make them in fear. And people say, nah, that's not right. Yeah, oh yeah, you think about it. Oh yeah, Patty, but what about the serial killers? Fear. They started out in fear. And once they did their first act or their deed of killing or whatever it is that they chose, stealing, whatever, they felt that they got some power from it because they got attention. So then they do it more and more. And before, some people are mentally ill that you just can't you can't heal. However, I'm talking about the ones that actually started out that way. Fear. So you make a choice. You either love yourself and start being loving and caring and kinding and being selfless as divine is to us. He gives us everything that we want and we deserve if we are understanding his ways. The other thing too is that you can have the choice to go to the dark side. I'll say to the dark side. Oh, didn't even know I had a Star Wars shirt on. Anyway, but really, in all reality, dark, very worldly, and if you want to go from God and Satan, or good and bad, good and evil, whatever you want, evil and good, good spirals up, evil spirals down. However you want to put it, word it, it's actually yin and yang, dark and light. Whatever you want to do, you can have the choice to spiral down or spiral up. And while you spiral up, it doesn't end with you, this spiritual war. It ends through you. Okay, so don't understand that when you're fighting a spiritual war, you're front end stand. You're and why is somebody texting something negative and nasty? That's the worst way to communicate. Pick up the phone. Hey, I need to hear your voice because I'm not being mean. I'm not being gaslighting. I'm not being blah blah blah. I just need to hear your voice so that we can communicate properly. Same with socializing in Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You sit in front of my face and share this with me, I bet you won't. Because there is fear. If you were to face me, you would not be able to say those things because light shines over dark. So that's why we have to be really, really mindful. Even when you're on social media for your kids and yourself. And this is a way, if you have kids, to educate your kids. Hey, that's, a lot of people believe everything that they see on the internet, or believe that even these Facebooks that somebody put some words on a shirt, or somebody had a shirt and, oh, I want to put some words over that. So they Photoshop that. Trust me, I can do that too. And then everybody believes that the shirt really says that, and everybody gets all divided and everything like that. And the thing is, that's a spiritual warfare again. And the more that you keep in that dark side and it pulls you in, the more it's going to be harder to get out. It's going to be harder. It's like an addiction. Once you get caught in addiction, I used to work in chemical dependency. And the thing is, meth is and cocaine, the most addicting drug out there. The minute you take it, the minute you're addicted. So this is the thing is that it doesn't take much to suck you in and keep you there. Because what happens is, then once you're sucked in, then the world will offer you all kinds of things, material things, things you want and desire for your flesh, not your spirit. It will give you all those things and then leave you empty later Because once we pass on, the way I look at things in a spiritual battle, and we pick our battles in our day. We do that. So what it is in your day, pick your battles, because every single day you're going to have a battle. Every single day you're going to have battle, whether it's an internal battle or a battle with somebody else. It's going to be a pull to go to the dark side. Guarantee it. Because then you're being tested also by divine saying, okay, this is a test. Are you with me or are you with them, the dark side, the energy? Are you with the dark energy? Are you with that kind of a thing? It could be even so. Temptation is just like so smooth, like the creamiest ice cream that you could ever just slither down. It's that smooth. It's so easy because it knows your Achilles heel. It knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses, and it will attack wherever you're weak. So if you're lonely, it'll find you somebody that is actually going to waste your time, use you, abuse you, or whatever, but you're not going to be lonely. Or he's going to be so handsome, if you're a female, so handsome that it's very inviting, but it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, you got to be really, really careful. This is a battle. This is not only about whatever it is in your life. It is not only a battle internally, but it is a battle to see this divine's testing to see how you're going to act and react and what you're going to say and not say. I used to be a sailor's mouth. I used to have a sailor's mouth, and you can have more power with no words or a whisper than any verbal cuss word that you could ever say. Don't believe me? Did your mom or dad ever give you a look without any word whatsoever that you knew that you better straighten up? Or did anybody ever say, I'm just going to get you? And then, something to that effect. I think that's a little more creepy. But again, you don't have to be following the world's ways. And the thing is that you want to be careful because you will get tripped up. And you know what? If you do get tripped up to go to a way that you shouldn't be going to the darker, is that you check yourself. You say, nope, I need strength. Divine, I need strength. I need you to guide me. I need you to get me out of this. I need this to happen. I need this, I need you by my side. I cannot do this alone. But this is a spiritual battle. This is between you and the world. This is between your spirit and the world spirit. And it's all about how you're going to act. It's coming hard. It's coming hard. And people are going to be able to get divided. They're going to, businesses, I'm not doing business with you anymore because the way you think, whether their abilities are really point on about what they need to do, like in my leather work, those ladies don't want to come to my leather shop. They don't need to come to my leather shop, but it is going to divide people. And this is the problem. If we can show the light of what divine has, the love, the compassion, the empathy, and keep going strong with that, with our armor on, and say, you know what, you can be mean to me, you can say the things that you want, as long as it's not, physically. I'm not talking about, abuse. I'm talking about, something on social media or on the internet or at your work or whatever. You can say that to me. I don't deserve that. However, you know what? I'm going to keep being me. I love people. I'll be empathetic. I'll be compassionate. I will be caring. And you can't stop me because that's the way I'm built. So go ahead. You be you, and I'm going to be me. We can all agree to disagree in certain areas. And again, we have to pick our battles. Don't really need to battle. We just need to understand each other's perspective. However, some people are so stuck in their ways, the dark world ways, they're never going to change. And it's not your job to change them. Your job is to be an example of divine's shining light, or the light worker that you are, the person that you are, and keep that going, because you cannot change anybody else but yourself. And the choices you make are going to not only outweigh what your future is going to hold, it may just outweigh somebody else's future to transform over to light. And that's the important thing, why we're here. And that's why these battles are going to get bad. So this is the thing, is to, take care of yourself and your spirit so that you can shine and allow that transformation to be seen by somebody else that is in the dark. And whether they change or not, that's not your job. It's just your job to show it, to keep showing it, to be consistent in showing it. Whenever, it's like when I'm teaching fitness and nutrition, if we're going to exercise, we're going to be consistent in what we're doing. If we're going to get on a diet plan, or I call it a lifestyle plan, it's something that has to be consistent, that you can do all your life. This has to be consistent in your life. So if you believe in God, you can't let that be shaken. So the thing is, you've got to stay on one side of the fence or the other. You can't stay in the middle. This is this is war. This is a spiritual warfare. So you need to pick what side you're on. You can't be on the center of the fence anymore, because your craw's getting a little sore anyway. Just trying to put some light into it. But it is something that I just know as an empath in these, that this is something that Divine has said, to come and do, because we're not in a battle. We're in a war. Okay. And that war meaning there is going to be several battles and things that we're going to come across, that we are going to be tested, and to see if we will hold in our spiritual belief, or if we will buckle to the temptation or to what they're saying, to go to the other side of the dark side. Okay. And that's our shadow side. Everybody has one. It's like an atheist doesn't believe in anything from the other side. Oh, that's just, butch bookie. Well, I've heard people from the other side. I've heard Divine's voice. I feel the energies and know things. And why do I know those things way before they're going to happen, or when they're happening? How do I know this person is dying and I need to walk alongside them and they're dying and they die? Why do I know that? So you cannot tell me there isn't a second dimension. You cannot tell me there isn't a God there. You cannot tell me I don't have abilities, because I have them. I can't explain them. Maybe when I go on the other side, I will. However, this is what keeps me on the light side. And I will never, ever, ever leave the light side. When I was on the dark side, I'm glad I am now on the light side, and I'll never go back. This is really a battle. It's no longer a battle for me. It is a discipline thing, though, you guys. I really will say it is really a lot of discipline. It is hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It is hard. When somebody comes at you and says that you're an idiot, you're stupid to believe that stuff, you know what? I feel sad for them, but I really want to say something to them. I really want to come back at them, but I don't, because then I give in. And then that's what Satan would be like, yeah, man, I got her. Yeah, come on, keep coming. And then you start cussing at him, flipping him off, and doing all that. Yeah, come on my way. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. As much as I want to, I have to ask Divine, give me the strength, back me away, get me out of here, do something, but stop me before I do something I regret. So it is really, really hard. Even for me, it is extremely hard, especially because that human side, that dark side, wants to come out and fight. Yeah, it's very, very hard. It's not easy, guys. It's not, but you have to have somebody in your corner. My daughter is in my corner, and sometimes she'll just say, Mom, settle down. Mom, stop being a boomer. Looking into those kind of things. And there are some things that, aren't acceptable, and some things are acceptable, but it depends on which way you're looking at, world or spirit, that kind of a thing. So hopefully this is helpful in some way, because Divine asked me to come on and do it, but I just threw a little thumbnail together, because we do have one side where, if I chose, I think words are in black and other words are in green, is that we do have a higher spirit. We do have a higher self that if we really listen to it, and we get close to it, it will help us to back off. It will help us to say, hey, don't say that. Don't do that. And it might even get louder and louder. I will tell you, sometimes when I was first getting my abilities, I didn't believe in it, and I was on the fence. I didn't believe that I didn't believe I had abilities to hear. And then one day, I mean, I was just like, thought I was going nuts, thought it was me in my head, I was like, okay. And if you go to the paranormal video, I think the whole story is in there, but they were telling me to actually go to a place because this person was going to steal. And I was like, yeah, right. I'm listening to myself. And then few minutes later, you need to go over there. It gets, it's divine when things get louder and louder and louder. You got to be paying attention to those things, because when it gets really, really loud, there's a reason. So that day when it got louder and louder, and I listened and I said, fine, I'll go over there. Fine. This is so stupid. I'm going nuts. Went over there, and the person comes around the corner, steals, and goes off. And I'm just, what is happening to me? That was the first time I heard. And it was just like, okay, what's happening? And so from that, I just knew that there's more to this than what really I understood. And it doesn't matter if I understand or not. It's just, as spiritual battles happen day after day after day after day, and then temptations are going to get more and more, because this is now becoming more a darker time. Temptations are going to come more and more to pull people more to that side. That is the time to stay strong. Put your armor on, get on that horse, stay strong, and keep going for divine love, empathy, compassion, caring, reaching out, being selfless rather than selfish, dark side, selfish, greedy, selfish, that kind of a thing, that way. All right. But I hope that helped. It's going to be a choice, but it's going to be harder, and it's going to be more competitive, and it's going to be something that you really have to persevere after and really want it. Here's the way I'm going to finalize with this. The way that I look at life anymore, I used to be worldly. I used to be on the darker side. And now I look at everything, and as at my age, Divine shared with me, what is important to you? And I said, well, my daughter, memories, making memories, things that I can leave her with, and things like that. And so finally, when we had a discussion, I said, you know what? I'm not going to worry about anything I cannot take with me when I pass on. That means anything material, I'm not going to fight about. When I talk about picking our battles on this earth and the world, can I take it with me? Can I take the government with me? Can I take politics with me? Can I take somebody else's opinion with me? No. So I pick my battles in, what am I going to take? I can take joy. I can take memories. And trust me, I can take memories. I talked to my mom since she's passed on, and she actually confirmed a lot. And I was like, because before she passed away, I asked her if there's any way that we can communicate once you're gone. I don't know if there is. I don't know if it's possible, but if there is any way we can communicate, please, I'm not afraid, communicate with me. And she did. So there is life after here. There is memory after here. So the thing is that I'm going to take those things with me. But if it's of the earth, if it is of somebody else's issues, if it is somebody else's problems, I'm not going to worry about those. That's not mine. If it is something to do with my family that I can help grow and that they can remember me by, those are the two things. I'm not going to worry about anything I cannot take with me when I pass on. That means anything material, I'm not going to fight about. When I talk about picking our battles on this earth and the world, can I take it with me? What legacy do I want to leave? And what can I take with me, and nothing else matters? Think about it. Spiritual side versus world side. Big battle going on. And it's going to make your choice which way you want to go. Be joy-filled, be happy, love life, worry about you, as how do they say it these days? Stay in your lane. Worry about you and what you can do for you and your family, because you got to do that first before you can do anything for anybody else. Anyway, what is that what the airline stewardesses say? When the mask drops, put it on yourself first, then take care of everybody else, right? It's true. So there you have it. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. I hope it was informational. I hope you got something from it. But most of all, I just came on to share that we're in a spiritual warfare. We're not in a battle. There's battles a lot, that which makes a war. So you go into battle many, many times. So keep your armor on, keep your horse watered, keep yourself watered, fueled up, sleep, take care of your body. Listen to your spirit first, then your head, because your spirit talks to your head talks to your body, and your body acts, says, and does however you respond. So in this spiritual war, if you're thinking with your head first, then you don't even listen to your spirit, or you're like, okay, how about your intuition? So your head tells your body, okay, we're going to go here. And your intuition saying, no, we really shouldn't do that. Something's over there that we probably don't want to do, or something's going to go wrong or whatever. But you're like, nah, I'm going to go with that. That's your inner spiritual warfare, because you're starting here rather than here. You got to listen. What do I want to do? High integrity, high morals, high values, love, compassion, kindness, that kind of a thing. It starts here first. That bit you got to start here and listen and hear what the divine is. I'll be doing another upload on how to hear the divine and know if it's your head or actually divine. You will understand and know from that point on. But I'd love your comments, and don't forget, if you really enjoyed this or watched it and you had, enjoyed even a few minutes of it, please smash that like button. Share it with your friends if you think they'll get anything from that. And don't forget, if you liked it enough to see more like this on my YouTube channel, just hit the subscription button and the bell, and you'll be notified when I'm on. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And now I usually end with walk in absolute truth, which is divine truth, consistent. It is not like the world, which is inconsistent, and love. Take care.